Hello guys, it is September 19th, 8:40. I have a small piece of paper in my pocket and it's about what I want to talk about, and it's hilarious because there's only two things on it. I just wanted to make sure I remembered. Number one is what happened today, and number two is my plan. So just for some context, guys, I did make a couple of videos on this, but just for anyone who didn't know, let's start from the Barcelona trip. I'm not going to get into too much detail because I already talked about it a number of times. Barcelona trip was great. Really showed me the life I could be living, and Owen as well. Now, I just need to accept that me and Owen live way different lives, and we don't want what we don't have a lot of alignment with each other. At the same time, though, I love the guy to death, bro. Honestly, he's a fucking amazing friend, bro. And when it comes down to like identity, we're you know, he's obviously a lot different, but when it comes to values, I think we both are somewhere aligned. He's a person I very much resonate with, you know, as a friend, as whatever. Fuck, let me walk a bit faster so this person isn't fucking creeping me out, bro. Look how they're walking. They're walking like a fucking animal, like an alien. Okay, guys, anyhow, essentially, sorry, I got off track. But yeah, so that he showed me that, and what happened at the end of the trip was Owen was like, Nick, when you get home, because what happened is that me, Owen, and his friend Brennan, which I'm also talking to right now, he's a really fucking cool guy, and he's smart, and he's great. He's a sales guy, right? So we all got the Amex Gold card successfully, and we were freaking out because it's a pretty decent card, you know. But we got that card, and then so he was like, Owen, like, Nick, you need to move out right now. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll move out. It wasn't that simple. I had a lot of limiting beliefs, and I talked through it with Owen, and I actually have a picture. I actually do have a picture of me sitting in this very luxurious hotel lobby at like 3 a.m. And it was so like, it was very, dude, it was like euphoric, bro. It was like a great moment. I don't know why people are still out here at 9 p.m., bro. I'm trying to record a fucking journal. But anyways, by the way, I'm gonna post this, I'm pretty sure. I'm definitely gonna post this. Okay, so that happened, right? So what did I take away? Why did I even mention that? Basically, I was, planning to move out. So, like, literally a couple of days of coming back home, there was this period where I was just, okay, I'm gonna actually start moving out. So I looked for a place to rent. I was trying to sell my shit. I didn't sell my shit yet, but the main thing, I was looking for a place to rent, calculating expenses, doing all these things, looking for a place to work as well, which is a really good fucking place. The only reason I'm not doing it is because I'm not moving out, which you guys will see how the story unfolds. So that happened. I know it was also weird because my parents had no fucking idea. Oh my god, is there a fucking spider on me now? Like, and I'm getting followed by an attractive woman, which is weird. Okay, but I just realized I'm saying stupid shit and I'm gonna post this, so I don't give a fuck of anyone's opinion of the stupid words that I might say. But okay, so there was that period and I was planning on moving out, let alone I do it, and this happened yesterday. So I legitimately packed my stuff. And also a thing to consider is, dude, this entire time, like, I was emotionless. I was expecting to, like, be freaking out and stressed out that, I basically lived in this place for 19 years. and I was just gonna move out abruptly, with basically them not knowing. And I just wasn't. I was emotionless, and I was like, this is weird. And then I was also thinking, I was like, when is this gonna hit me? You know, when is this thing gonna really hit me? And the answer for you is, and I have videos of me like actually crying, but I might release those a bit later or down the path of my life, but not now. When I started packing up for my trip, it all hit me at the same. It all hit me at once, because my parents left for work, and I was home alone. It was just me and my dog. It was just me and my dog. And my dog is, by the way, is adorable. And I realized, I was like, dude, I'm about to pack up, leave, not see this dog in a long time, not see my parents in a long time. And I just started breaking down. I was crying in the morning, and I was just like, it wasn't like subtle crying. It was either sad thoughts, or I would just majorly break down. Like I don't do this often. Obviously I don't fucking just bawl out, but it happened. It was very explosive. That's how I can describe it. And the things that would trigger these explosive periods of, like, you know, crying, is when I would just think, you know, how much my, you know, family took care of me. And like the other thing that I would imagine that would trigger this is like just knowing that my dog didn't know what was happening, you know, like it did not know. And I was crying to it. I was like, I'm gonna leave you, and it just didn't know. I was like, fuck, you know, it's like there's something that kills you when you know that something is innocent and it doesn't know what's gonna happen, but you know what's gonna happen. So okay, that happened, right? And that day happened. Essentially, I packed my shit up, I booked the Uber, I got the place, we went there. Basically I got scammed, okay? I was very careless when even looking at this place and talking to this guy. I basically got scammed. I'm gonna end it there. The total amount of money I spent with this guy was $800, because it was $300 for rent, $300 security deposit, $70 application fee, and then $100 to pay a guy to get the key. But yeah, I basically got scammed. Contacted PayPal to get my money back. There's a high chance I'll get it back. And $800, you know, that's it hurts, but it's not like 2K, right? Like listen, if I was going for rent and it was like 1K a month, best believe I would, you know, actually make sure I'm like being more careful. Doesn't matter though. That happened, okay? And so basically the same day, my parents didn't know I was gonna move out. I actually tried moving out. I literally got on the Uber and I went to the place. And then the same day I went back home, and it was a weird day. So and honestly, at that day, I was not expecting anything. Like, my last expectation was that I was gonna be home that day still. I don't know why. I was just so certain that, you know, I was going to be moved out. I was gonna be in this new place. I'm not religious, but I genuinely think that, you know, higher being, you know, quantum physics, metaphysics, whatever you want to call it, God, he was actually looking out because of what happened today. And I'll explain that. We have quite a bit of storage to go here. My storage has been really bad lately. I've been having to delete shit left and right just to record journals sometimes. But yeah, we got like a good 25 minutes of runway here. Maybe even more, definitely more. Okay, let's carry on though. That happened, and I was feeling pretty shit. I don't remember if I cried during the night. I don't think I did. I think I was just confused, honestly. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I'm back home now. I probably lost $800. So that happened. And I guess I don't need to clarify any more about the past, I don't think. Okay, so today, what happened? I woke up and I was feeling like absolute shit. Like really bad. Today was a very painful day. I'll explain it the best I can. I honestly don't remember a lot of it just because of just kind of how painful it was. But I woke up. I don't remember when I got out of bed. I don't remember. But look, basically this entire situation of me knowing that I committed everything, right? Like I spent over $5,000 this month. And okay, this is what sunk in at the morning. I woke up in the morning, some hours passed by, and then this reality started to sink in. The fact that I was pretty much at rock bottom. I had no money. I had no idea if I could increase my income. I just had so much doubt about it. And I spent 2 years on this thing expecting that I would be at like $10,000, $20,000 per month. And I'm just at rock bottom, like $0. I'm actually in debt until my client paid me today, which is cool, but I was actually in debt, rock bottom, feeling like a failure, you know? Big fat failure with a big fat F on it. And that happened. And, you know, I mentally spiraled. As always, Nick loves to overthink and negatively spiral. Sometimes destructively. I gotten better at that, but it was inevitable that was going to happen today. So it happened today. And that thought just sunk in. I was like, dude, I'm literally at rock bottom right now. And the bigger thing is that I invested $800. I got scammed. So now not only do I not have money, I'm in my parents' house, you know? The reason I was going to move out and wanting to do that so badly is to change my environment. Because only at Barcelona, I really got a true, real world, first-hand experience on what a change of environment could do to you. Like, insane. It was great. I wasn't even working as hard as I could in Barcelona, and my behavior was so much better than at home. It felt easier. Everything is just, environment is such an important part of facilitation of behavior, because behavior gets the result. Now, okay, not to get too complicated here. I saw that, and so that's why I wanted to move out. I'm just explaining why I wanted to move out so badly. But getting scammed, getting my money stolen, and not being moved out, that's what felt like rock bottom. Because I knew if I moved out, at least I'd be forced to make it work. You know, if I didn't make it work, I was going to go homeless. And I was like, okay, even though I have no money, I still have this thing, you know? So yeah, the morning I felt rock bottom. And I did cry in the morning. I did. And it was very painful. And I'm not going to lie, it was even more painful than yesterday. Because instead of the pain of leaving your family and your dog without them knowing, dude, I don't even know if my sister even knows that I tried moving out. That's so funny. Okay, but anyways, instead of that pain, it was the pain of feeling like I was, you know, I spent 2 years of my life on this thing. I sacrificed a lot, genuinely. I don't have real life friends. I don't go to parties. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I don't do any of these things that these college kids are doing. And I also sacrificed a lot of drumming as well. The most drumming I've done is at Strike last year. But I used to drum a lot of the day, and it gave me sincere happiness. And I cut that out for the past 6 months. Probably more, actually. It just depends on the skill, right? So like for the last 6 months, I've cut out a lot. Like I basically have not been doing it that much, you know? Like the very, very most 1 hour a day. Very most. Some days, like a lot of the days I wouldn't do anything. Some days I'll do like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe 20. And that would keep me sane. But, you know, it wasn't like before where I was, you know, actually enjoying just kind of drumming along to shit, like 2 hours a day, just chilling, doing that. That was more of 2023 when I was actually posting videos on Quadology. Oh, we're going to get to that. It's going to be really fun to talk about. Okay, but look, essentially, I sacrificed so much, right? And I could have definitely sacrificed more, but in general, I sacrificed a lot, you know? I put a lot of work into it as well. Like, for 2 years, I did not quit. Quitting is, you know, not doing something is quitting in one way, but another form of quitting is switching what you're doing. It's called the shiny object syndrome. And I didn't even do that. I stuck to one model, one niche, one customer, one everything. I just stuck with it. And feeling that I was at rock bottom, that just hit me so hard. So I cried. And then I was even having suicidal thoughts because I was like, dude, if I can't make this work, if I have to go to 9 to 5 or do college, all this stuff, I think I would legitimately like not want to live. Like if I couldn't create the freedom to do the things I knew I could do, like I generally think life would not be worth living. And that might be crazy to say because there's kids in Africa or kids in insert third world country that are being bombed. But I don't know. I think suffering is very subjective. That argument is valid, but I don't think it has as much validity as people make it out to be. That might be very controversial to say, but we'll just say that. Like, I'll give you an example. I saw a clip, and it was like, they were asking him if he could solve anything in the world, and he was like, no, because you need suffering to have happiness. And there's kids in, people like in Brazil that have something called favela, which is basically having no doors in the house and being, basically living in poverty. And those people are the happiest people in the world. You compare that to people in Manhattan and New York, they got all the money in the world and they're fucking miserable. So that's why I even bring that up. But yeah, I was having suicidal thoughts this morning. It wasn't fun. They weren't very heavy. I wasn't thinking about taking action, but I was seriously like entertaining it. It was a bit scary. And there's parts of that where it's like, yes, I feel rock bottom, but I've also been living a subpar life for like probably 2 years now, I would say. It'll be worth it though. But that's what happened this morning. And then pretty much till the evening, I don't do this very often. I basically cut this out of my identity. I used to do it a ton. Today it came back only today, but I haven't done this in a long time. But I literally just sat in my bed and watched YouTube all day. So that's what I did. I haven't done that in a very, 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 very long time. But I just sat in bed. I just kind of let go of the urgency to get shit done for the day. And I just watched YouTube. And it's funny, for the day, I watched a lot of scam revenge videos because they're really fucking funny. And I got scammed recently, so, it was pretty fun. I watched that for like the majority of the day. And then I realized, eventually, okay, let me actually plan my life out with ChatGPT. And so I did this, okay? So my friend Owen, he has made a ChatGPT prompt that essentially audits your life. And it was pretty shit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it would just yap at you and it wouldn't really understand what you're doing. So I made a little change in the prompt, just basically telling it to probe like a real mentor before creating any conclusions. And I don't know why, but this little edit in the prompt made it like 20 times better. It was as if I actually had a mentor like listening to me and probe me. Probing just means asking questions in a way that gets you to think differently of your perspective. And it did it like fucking perfectly, bro. For ChatGPT, like I was genuinely learning and gaining value and changing my own perspective. And I'll even do this. If I remember to do it, if anyone wants to remember me to do it, if I don't do it for some reason, I could put the link to that in the comment section. It's very useful. Very, 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 very useful. You just basically copy paste it in ChatGPT. You explain everything that's going on in your life, and it'll probe and get you to figure out what the fuck to do. So I did that, and I just started going crazy. I figured out everything. I made a plan. So now, the next thing I want to talk about is my plan. And I'm kind of hoping that the video doesn't end too soon here. 25 minutes, it could. I just hope it goes till 30. I hope I have enough storage. That was quite a bit to unpack, though. All right, so now we have to talk about what am I going to do. All right, so just context, I run a marketing agency for tree services. All my KPIs are good, which basically means numbers. So I'm booking a good amount of appointments. 40% are showing up, which is a really good show rate. The biggest reason I'm not making a ton of money is just sales. I'm not good enough at the actual sales calls themselves, which I'm probably going to post on my drumming channel, so people are going to have no idea how sales actually works in real life. It has a bad reputation, but it's really about helping people and understanding them to the maximum extent. It's actually, if you're curious what that is, I would just watch a guy on YouTube called Josh Lyons. It pretty much, it crushes the stigma that sales guys are people who read scripts and do salesy shit and all this bullshit, to be quite frank. Sales is actually a very beautiful thing. And I'll put this as a hint. ChatGPT was actually doing a form of sales on me when I was trying to solve my problem. So just look that up, try to understand it. It's actually a very beautiful thing. It's a good skill to have when improving yourself, people that you care about. It's a very unique skill. It's hard to articulate. I'm not going to explain on this video, but that's my bottleneck, right? That's the reason I'm not getting more clients. So what I'm trying to say here is, okay, I run an agency. I kind of know what I'm doing, you know. There's just one thing I need to fix before I could really make more money. So here's the plan. Right now is September 19th. Until November 15th, I'm gonna just do as much work on the agency as possible for a number of reasons. One is that I figured out through the ChatGPT that I don't need to make 16 grand a month to feel ready to move on. All I really need to make is like 3K a month, because that'll cover my expenses, and probably have me save some money as well. So that's what I figured out. That was a big ego shatterer. I thought I needed $20,000 saved, and I thought I needed to make 8 grand a month profit for me to be ready for the next thing, which is what I'm going to talk about. But that was a big, and it was very useful reality check, so useful to realize that. So that's step one. I know I can definitely crush that number by November 15th. I could probably crush it in 2 weeks if I really just put in the work. Probably 1 week, honestly. But okay. So that's what I'm going to do till November 15th. I'm also going to be doing Strike this season. At least I'm 99.99% sure I'm going to do that. And the goal is just to become the best leader I possibly can. Regarding marching higher groups, the only goal I have right now is to make Blue Devils by the time I age out. And to be quite frank, I don't even know if Blue Devils is going to be an organization that is going to be desirable to march by the time I age out. Well, we'll just have to see what happens with them. I just know I want to become the best in this thing by the time I age out. I've been pretty washed up lately, you know. I was very good very young, and then I cut it off and I stagnated. So that's why that happened. And I got friends, I'm not going to say their name, but I got friends who are like, Nick, you're stagnating. I'm like, I know. I'm not focusing on it. So yeah, that's where I stand with that. That's like a side goal I have. Okay, let me get to the juicy shit. So from there, I'm going to start building Quadology. Now, the only thing I know Quadology is gonna be so far, I know I'm going to make it the best drumming resource in the entire world. That is the mission of that thing. And the thing is that you guys don't have context on what I was thinking before this. What I was thinking before is that, oh my God, I wanted to make a lot of money with my marketing agency, right? And become basically rich. I figured that's not what I want to do. In fact, I can actually become rich doing Quadology, which a lot of you guys might not believe, but your beliefs are not my concern. So that's how that shifted. But I can't put everything on this video, I can't lie. There's too much that goes on that I would want to explain. But I basically had a huge shift in terms of what do I want to do with the agency and what do I want to do with Quadology. The shift is essentially making Quadology more important than the agency. Before, my plan was to make 16 grand a month with the agency and then do Quadology. Now it's 3K a month, because it was just the whole thing was clouded by ego. But anyways, I want to build Quadology.